This is Sam Phillips reporting on the terrible dictator, Joseph Stalin, and what he did to the Ukrainian people and the peasants. Back in the day, he said he served the working people, but his actions, he served himself and his power trip. He killed millions of people. Then he made a deal with Adolf Hitler, the Non-Aggression Pact. A lot of questions about this man, and we're here to report the story about the people and their ancestors that was brutally murdered and starved under the regime of Joseph Stalin. This is Sam Phillips from Liberation Brew. We're reporting on the Ukrainian Holocaust that happened under Stalin. Sir, why are you here today for?
Well, to commemorate the Ukrainian Holocaust, as we call it, the Holodomor, to the victims, some 10 million of them that were starved to death during the forced collectivization, during the period of Joe Stalin's rule, in so-called freedom and heaven of the workers and peasants and laborers.
Yes, Joseph Stalin, he made he made a deal with Adolf Hitler, the Non-Aggression Pact, and he killed like tens of millions of people. And the whole revolution was to try to make it better for the working people and the peasant people. But he got into power and he took it backwards, He was like a brutal dictator. What do you think about that, sir?
Well, what he did, he followed the footsteps of his teacher, Lenin, who is actually the first one to have started collectivization. He was the first one to have created concentration camps and getting rid of the intelligentsia and the wealthy peasants and what have you not. Stalin just followed the same route a few steps further, and it got out of hand, of course. And the whole thing was nothing more than a utopia to fool the rest of the people in this world.
Well, what do you think about Stalin? He killed some of the best and the brightest of the Bolshevik Revolution, and I do believe their aims at first was right and just because the people were starving after World War I, and he killed a lot of the best and the brightest that were, that fought for the Russian people and the Eastern Europe people.
Yes, he did. He eliminated all his competitors. Absolutely, and a lot of them that were not competitors. He was a paranoia, there's no question about it. He was afraid of everything and everybody, and he unleashed his unbelievably crude Cheka under the various people, at last with Beria, whose idea was to simply kill off the majority to create some sort of utopia for a minority. And you see the results.
Right. Well, thank you very much, sir. This is Sam Phillips reporting for Liberation Brew. And I don't like any kind of dictator. I don't like Dick Cheney. I don't like anybody that oppresses the people. Why are you here tonight?
I'm just here to protest what happened 70 years ago. Not many people know about it, unfortunately. Everybody knows about the Holocaust, but not many people know about the starvation in Ukraine. And that's why we want to make sure that it's spreading out and more people know about it. It's very unfortunate that even TV and radio was refusing in the past years to say anything about it. But everybody talks about the Holocaust.
Why do you think that is, that everybody thinks that Stalin is the sacred cow and nobody wants to talk about Stalin? And what I read about Stalin, he's not a very nice man. He betrayed the workers' revolution, the people did rise up because the conditions of the Tsar was so bad, and then it went backwards. He was a brutal murderer. What do you think about that, sir?
Well, he was talking about helping working people and the farmers, like it says the sickle and the hammer was supposed to be for working people. Actually, he murdered most of the farmers, not so many city people. Well, he was executing them, but those 70 million were basically farmers that were feeding the whole country and other countries in Europe. But he really did opposite from what he was saying, that he was going to bring the farms for the farmers and the factories for the working factory workers, but actually everything was taken away from people. And everything was dictated by the Stalin from Politburo in Moscow.
Yeah, do you think that Stalin was like a double agent? He played whatever side. He did sign a deal with Adolf Hitler, and it seems like he was out more for Stalin instead of the people.
I didn't get it. You say about Stalin and Hitler?
Yeah, well, they signed the non-aggression pact in 1939.
Oh yes, that was just all. Stalin believed Hitler for some reason, and he did not prepare the country for the war with Hitler. But Hitler tricked him into believing that he was his friend, but actually he always planned to take the eastern territory for Germans.
Well, thank you very much, sir. The program is going to start right here. This is Sam Phillips at the gathering of the Ukrainian Holocaust under Joseph Stalin. They said he was for the working people and the peasants, but he was for Joseph Stalin, another power freak.
Шановні наші громадяни, тому 70 років наші брати на Україні терпіли життям. Так що сьогодні ми зійшлися не дуже відповідну погоду, але це дрібничка порівнянню до того, що вони перейшли. І вони не мали вибору. Suffered the greatest famine in the world. It took from 7 to 15 million people that died from starvation, and the starvation was created artificially by the government of Soviet Union. And we cannot forget those things that happened then. We cannot forget that they happened, and we have to remember and pray for their souls and continue the memory, because they died not of their own, not by nature, but forcefully by direct instructions from the top government in Moscow. Therefore, we'll start praying right now, and after our prayers, we'll have, so to say, political part of our commemorations. Thank you. The first thing that I wanted to announce that our Bishop Robert is sending his blessings on the participants of this particular commemoration. He couldn't be here because he has other engagements, but he is with us.
Blessed is our God, always, now, and ever, to the ages of ages.
Resurrection and the life and the repose, your servants, O Christ our God, and unto you ascribe glory together with your Father, who is from everlasting, your holy, good, and life-creating Spirit, now and ever and unto ages of ages.
It's a significant commemoration this evening, the 70th anniversary of the artificial, of the man-made famine in Ukraine. And of course all you Ukrainians know this already, so I'm saying this for the non-Ukrainians who may not know it. But for years Ukrainians have been mocked have been scorned.
I don't know if that works, Father.
Is it working?
No.
Wait a minute. How's it? Is it on now? For years, Ukrainians were belittled because we kept telling the story, the historical facts of the famine that took place in 1932 and 33, orchestrated by Joseph Stalin. In fact, even when we said 7 million people perished, they mocked us, they laughed at us. Said, sure, 7 million. Yeah, the Jews, 6 million with the Holocaust, you guys have to be better. But the facts are now that the archives are open and now that we can see the facts for the Soviet Union, now that it has fallen, that it was more than 7 million. It's one of the greatest genocides which ever took place. And our Ukrainian forebears who kept this in mind, who kept telling the world, who would not let this tragedy die, are to be commended, and we are indebted to all of them. And now we have the freedom, not only here, but in Ukraine, to commemorate this horrible event, to remember those who perished, and to grant and wish them all memory eternal. Truth cannot be hidden underneath a bushel basket. As our Lord told us, let the truth stand up and shine to all people. We proclaim the truth for generations. Finally, the truth can be known. In spite of the efforts of the Western liberal press, which tried to suppress the facts of the famine, we know that the famine took place now. And not only we know it, but the whole world is beginning to know it. People who called us fanatics now have to admit that we were talking the truth. We don't say this with vengeance in our hearts. We do have a bit of self-satisfaction because the truth did win out. However, we do pray, this is still a very sad commemoration, and we have to work and pray that something like this can never, ever happen again. And when those who try to suppress the truth, we must speak out as we did in the past and allow the truth to be known. Because it's only through the truth that we can learn and progress and become sons and daughters of our Lord God and Savior Jesus Christ, by speaking the truth as He taught it to us, proclaiming the word of His truth today and each and every day of our lives. I thank you for coming this evening. God bless each and every one of you.
I think it's appropriate that we began this with a religious commemoration, since Stalin and the communists who perpetrated the famine substituted themselves for God. They said there was no God and then decided to play God. And by commemorating them in a religious fashion, we're putting things back in their proper order. Комуністи викинули Бога і тоді казали, все дозволено, включно з Голодомором. І тепер ми вертаємо до того, що було. Але ми не повинні забути, що не лише мордували селян, хліборобів, також наших інтелектуалів. Бо вони хотіли не лише знищити селянство, але також українську культуру, мову, щоб ми більше не існували. І тому ми мусимо працювати над тим, щоб зберігати нашу культуру, щоб наші інституції рідні. Destroying the peasantry, the farmers, but also Ukrainian culture, killing artists, writers, scholars, so that the Ukrainian nation would cease to exist. And so it's incumbent on us to build our institutions, the schools, the museum, youth organizations. We're fortunate that we have political support now. Ми маємо політичну підтримку, починаючи з нашим губернатором, beginning with our governor, Bob Taft, and I'd like to introduce Roman Fetkiu, who is here, recently appointed as the International Affairs Director for the governor. Naš prijatelj, naš Klivlendich, Romko Fetkiu, який має лист від губернатора. Romko.
1932-1933 marked a dark time in the history of the world, and more specifically in Ukraine's history. Within 1 year, 7 to 10 million innocent victims were starved to death due to a deliberate Soviet policy to crush the nationally conscious Ukrainian peasants. The Ukrainian famine genocide, Holodomor, was carried out behind the Iron Curtain, and because of this, it is one of the least known crimes against humanity committed by the Stalinist government of the former Soviet Union. Due to the isolation of the Soviet Union from the world for over 70 years, the intricate web of lies manufactured by the Soviet historians, and the intentionally misleading news reports by reporters covering the events at this time, the memory of this tragedy was suppressed and the evidence concealed. It is the duty of all Ukrainians worldwide to share this tragic page of history with the world and ensure that the catastrophe that befell Ukraine will never happen again. In commemorating the 70th anniversary of genocide by starvation in Ukraine, I would like to present a resolution on behalf of Governor Taft. State of Ohio, Office of the Governor. Whereas the year 2003 marks the 70th anniversary of the Ukrainian famine genocide that resulted in the deaths of 7 to 10 million innocent Ukrainian men, women, and children that were starved to death due to a deliberate Soviet policy to crush Ukrainian aspirations for independence. And whereas the Soviet government ordered the borders of Ukraine sealed to prevent anyone from escaping the artificial famine and preventing any international food aid from providing relief to the starving. And whereas the Soviet government, knowing of the resulting starvation, intensified the extraction of agricultural produce from Ukraine and exported that produce to Western countries, further worsening the situation and deepening the loss of life. And whereas the Soviet Union engaged in a massive cover-up of the Ukrainian famine, and journalists, including some foreign correspondents, cooperated with the campaign of denial and deception. And whereas the United States Commission on the Ukrainian Famine, formed in 1985, concluded that former Soviet leader Joseph Stalin and his associates committed genocide against Ukrainians in 1932-33, using food as a political weapon to achieve the aim of suppressing any Ukrainian expression of political and cultural identity and self-determination. And whereas 70 years later, much of the world is still unaware of the artificial genocidal famine in Ukraine. Now, therefore, I, Bob Taft, Governor of the State of Ohio, commemorate the observance of the 70th anniversary of the Ukrainian famine genocide and designate 2003 a year to mourn the victims of this tragic event. I invite all Ohio's communities, especially the Ukrainian American community, to share this tragic page of history with the world and ensure that the catastrophe that befell Ukraine will never happen again. On this 24th day of November, 2003, Bob Taft, Governor.
Свідки тих страшних часів. Пан Іван Шуляк, який пережив коли в Донбасі, і пані Жилавська, яка пережила голод.
Thus, we recognize the United Ukrainian Organizations of Greater Cleveland for their efforts to commemorate the 70th anniversary of Ukraine's famine genocide of 1932 to 1933, and salute all those taking part in this solemn observance. This is signed by Larry Householder, Speaker of the Ohio House of Representatives, and Dean DePiero.
Also have proclamations from the Cuyahoga County Commissioners and the Mayor of Cleveland, on whose territory we are celebrating today. They, in the same vein that the other proclamations, are with us, recognizing that tragic event and wish us to be steady, on course, and maintain what we have started many, many years ago until the entire world recognizes this particular occasion. Thank you.
This is Sam Phillips reporting. I believe in Marx. He did a lot of hard work, tried to make some sense about the working people's condition. But I don't like Stalin. He hijacked it and he stole it. And I argue for years that he was nothing but a brutal dictator. For Joe Stalin, and that's it.
Нашому хорові і диригентці за те, що зліпила той хор. Тут, знаєте, ті голоси не так дуже грають тут на вітрі, але все одно ми стали разом. Я дуже гордий за нашу громаду, що ми таке дописали. Я дуже дякую і добраніч.
This is Sam Phillips reporting for Liberation Brew of the Ukrainian Holocaust that happened 70 years ago. Sir, why are you here for tonight?
I'm Ukrainian American Veterans Commander. We're here to support the Ukrainian commemoration and 70th anniversary of our famine that happened in 1932, 1933. For years, everything's been covered up. Finally, the records have shown the truth over the years, and we're here to make sure that the world remember what happened a couple years back.
Yes, Stalin, he had a lot of crimes under his regime. He made a deal with the Non-Aggression Pact with Adolf Hitler, and what he did, he killed millions and millions of people, and a lot of people try to justify what Stalin did. And we have to bring it out that he did not represent the working class. He stole the revolution away from them, and he used the Russian people and the people of the Eastern Europe.
Yes, he did, and not only Ukrainians, but also the Polish people and all the other captive nation countries that happened during World War II.
And a lot of people try to think that that was a worker state, and Marx never had that idea of that kind of a state going on. Karl Marx, and they hijacked it, and I believe Stalin was a double agent.
That's probably true, but history will prove itself. We're still finding the records out, we're still looking everything over, and like I said, the truth will come out, and the press will be able to know that in a couple of years.
Well, thank you very much, sir. This is Sam Phillips reporting for Liberation Brew about the Ukrainian Holocaust that happened 70 years ago under the regime of Joseph Stalin. Ma'am, you lived it, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's doing it. She's living there. She's past this. Me too. I got. Yeah.
And they took all the food and everything. That's what I read.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where do they take the food to take it back to Russia to feed the Russian people or the elite? I mean,
I'm Ukrainian. I'm not Russian.
No,
right.
Yes, and this Russian one take it. Yes, this is take it to Russian. Feed Russian people in Laro, send away. From house take it. Let's even find it one potatoes and take it away from people. And left people hungry, completely empty house. And for really this sometime through this food ocean and not give it for people.
So this was covered up for years and years, wasn't it?
Yes, this was 32 and 33 year, and this start with 30, In 32, 33, there was bad. People lay in the street, die. People ask crumbs bread, drops water, and nobody don't care. And so a couple of 100 people lay in the street. In special Kharkov, this is kids lay in the street, die. Come in a buggy with horse, and when the fork take these kids through buggy, and the big people take it to hand in a lake and through buggy, put a ditch and barrel over there.
I tell you what problem this was. You can understand, I see. Because this Soviet Union wanted organization колхоз. You know what this means? Колхоз, there's no privacy, only all together, колхоз. People don't want it, this колхоз. And then take it away, everything what you had it. Everything is being potatoes, everything was in the garden. And the people was hungry and died all the time. And organization for co-hosp. You know what does mean co-hosp? No?
No, ma'am.
This is a big farm who they put collective. That's
Okay.
it. Yes.
Everyone
This is so
work but not pay for this. And winter time maybe, but that's not. And people was hungry, and people passed away, died, everyone. If you don't want to work, do you go to Siberia?
Did Joseph Stalin have a lot of his Secret Service men and his police out?
Too much, a lot.
Taxation, everything. What you had at the house, furniture, everything. Take it away from you.
We cut from people away and threw people to street, they put with the board, close window door, and people left the street with the kids. All the men was arrested, all intelligent, professor, engineer, everything was arrested. You know, just wife with the kids, and 12 o'clock night come in, threw wife with the kids outside, and left everybody like that, and take it house, so what have it, take it everything away with people.
Well, thank you very much. You know what I mean? And we're going to get the story out there.
Upset. I can tell you more, and you know I'm upset.
And you have every right to be upset.
Yeah.
I'm upset.
Yeah. My brother, sister died, father was in jail, and everybody lay and swallow. My mom said, go look into neighbor house. When I go in, everybody lay in dead house. I shake, I come home, and I said, Mom, everybody die over there. And so what happened? And died because all the men is arrested. All the men not was home, and what woman making with this? Nothing. This is communism, so what is do it?
Well, you know, but that's why they fell. Joe Stalin died. His name will go down as a terrible place in history. You know what I mean? He did not serve the people.
In Laro, there was secret one, this hungry over there, you know. Nobody no let out this country. Like I forget him, when he was Ukrainian, he was embassy, he was reporter. I forget him name. He hold it to secret everything, you know. He's not let go of the country. In Laro country, we know nothing, you know, and we die. We was die over there. Nobody no help for us. Nobody not believe it, you know. Yeah, this so what I know a lot. I passed this everything, and I can't talk now too much. I'm too nervous, you know. I too upset. Yeah.
Well, ma'am, you know the truth will get out, you know. And all you leftists out there that I know here and all that, you're all big Joe Stalin fans, man. You know what I mean? Why don't you put Joe Stalin in the place in history where he belongs? He was nothing but a brute dictator. He was out for Joe Stalin. He never cared about the working people and the peasants and the little people. He was living high in the hog in the Kremlin. He had heat. I bet you money old Joe was eating.
All right, I'm just asking you, American history book says there was a famine. It does not say about genocide. Now you're saying Stalin
Yes,
basically...
genocide. He was this Mexican special. Ukrainian never was poor country. This is a rich country with here everything, with food, everything. This is Mexican special, everything, you know. They wanted to kill these people, and that's it. you know.
There was an article in Sunday's paper. They said Ukraine was the richest feed land, could feed the whole world.
Even now said, if give it freedom, good. We feed all Europe. And this don't have it freedom too much. This is said freedom and not completely, you know. Yeah.
It just bothers me when lies are spoken as truth, because American history books make it sound as if it was all natural. It was just a famine, and people were just starving because
No, this making special everything. This wanna do this, you know. Wanna Laro destroyed people this. You know?
It was purposely done then.
Yes, yes.
Well, I'm sure Stalin's in hell now, you know.
Yeah.
Very evil.
If this look at now come in more and more history, they start too hard, yeah, and because it was like secret, nobody not open what happened over there. Yeah, look, and when we come in here 43, 45, 49, we can write letter to Ukraine. We can. They was close everything. Yeah. After war, yes, and before 45, we was captured to German work in wartime. We no write letter.
That's another thing I'd like to ask you. It was you're talking the 30s when this horrible thing.
42. This was 42.
Because I understand when the Nazis came, and the Nazis in a way were worse.
This is 1940 time, yeah. When this was war over there, capture on to 1942, capture us everything work in Germany. How much people die over there?
I heard Nazis just work people to death.
They mix everything together, you know, they making bad for Ukrainian making bad. Anyway, some people still alive. Yeah.
It just bothers me when lies are said as truth. I think the propaganda machine is going on even now, because like I said, I read in history, it was a famine. Nobody said nothing about genocide.
Yeah, this is not, it was hungry, this not was propaganda, it was really, because I was there. I got 10 years when I passed this everything.
You actually lived through it.
Yeah, my father was in jail, mother lived with swallow from Hungary, and I was older, and I a little bit moved, you know, and I still alive, and the rest of them is gone.
See, my parents were Slavic. They came to this country because conditions were so bad in Central Europe, but they're not Ukrainian. You know, they didn't know how bad it was in Ukrainian.
Yeah.
So it was worse there.
Yeah. They was hungry in other country too, wartime, and this is 1932-33. This not wartime. This
it was between the wars, between World War I and World War II. Yeah, they came to the United States because they said there was no food, there was nothing to eat.
This was 1929,
29 to start to 1929, 30. After the push, squeeze people, and after destroyed. In special arrested all intelligent people, professor, engineers, so high class. After poor, after kill everybody. That's all. Yeah. Oh yeah. 46 and 47 was die a lot of people. Yeah. Yeah. Can't talk like that because you know I'm sad. I upset too much.
But thank you for sharing it with us, because we have to share it to teach other people.
Yeah, I know. I know, because we want it when the all world know about us. Because before nobody really know. We keep it to secret, nobody really know. Now we want it when everybody know that. And a lot of people die, even here. So people older like me and they pass and left couple. They saw who passed that, you know. I'm sorry, I'm not perfect English, you know.
You're doing great. You speak very well.
Yeah.
I'm glad you speak, because I don't speak Ukrainian.
Yeah.
Can I ask you, why did Stalin want the land? He basically just wanted it for his own
This
purpose?
just wanted it come in all together. Take it all, destroyed farmer, take it all together, communism, for one land. And people don't want to give up. People don't want to lose this him farm.
So they tried
And
to force
everything
that,
after that start do it that. You know, start destroyed people and take it land, take it house, who place this house, come in communist live it, and these people threw away with kids outside.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I said, men, all men arrested it. What do it woman with kids?
She left on her own. Huh?
Left and come from house to house. Somebody buried back potatoes or back some weed, you know, this like, I forgot already. I upset. Bread piece, bury it or ground, and come in with the stick, with the so big, and search, you know, all the way.
Dig it up.
And dig it up, and people die. Don't have it. Even one potato to house, if find it, all the way look at, find it one potatoes, and this take it away. Yeah.
I saw a picture of Ukrainians dead, like frozen skeletons, because they wouldn't even rot because it was so cold. They were frozen, and they were stripped because people take their clothing, and they just were laying there like garbage.
Yeah.
Human beings.
Yeah, this really, this right Soviet Yeah.
Horrible.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, okay. I appreciate
And God bless you.
Yeah.
And God bless you too, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.
Because I tell you, not too much people left to
I
life.
tell you, just don't try to understand, because it's too hard to understand now, after 70 years. Just too hard. Nobody understand what really happened. Nobody knows.
I'm not 50 years old yet, and yet already they're saying that the atrocities never happened, you know.
You can understand. You can, that's the magic. What
Unless you live
happened?
through it, yeah.
Okay, we go.